Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into, well, a really fascinating place, the city of Camorr. Imagine organized crime isn't just present, it's basically the foundation of social order, all managed by something called the secret peace.
Exactly. And our sources give us this incredible picture of a criminal underworld that honestly feels like it shouldn't work, but it does. Until, that is, this one small, very ambitious gang of thieves just decides to break all the rules.
Yeah, the gentlemen bastards, led by Locke Lamora, right?
That's them. So today we're going to unpack the complex rules governing crime in Camorr. We'll trace the absolutely audacious schemes of Locke and his crew.
That's Locke, Jean, the twins, Kalo and Galdo, and Bug the apprentice.
Right. And we'll get into how their actions basically kicked off a gang war that almost wiped out the nobility and brought the whole criminal structure crashing down.
It's amazing how a few lies, really clever lies, can just unravel everything. So where do we start? The system itself?
Yeah, you really have to understand the setup first. It all hinges on Kappa Barsavi and his secret peace. Think of it as this overarching agreement controlling like over 100 different gangs across the city.
800 gangs.
Okay.
And what's the deal? What are the rules of this piece?
Well, it's pretty straightforward, actually, but also kind of brilliant. Each gang pays Barsavi a cut, a pretty big one. And in return, there's one absolute unbreakable rule.
Yeah.
You do not rob the nobility, the highborn families, and you do not mess with the city watch, the guys they call yellow jackets.
Ah, okay. So Barsabi is protecting the biggest potential targets.
Exactly. He sacrifices those huge scores, the palaces, and the wealthy peers to keep all the smaller gangs in line, and he enforces it, ruthlessly.
It's criminal social engineering almost. Keep the powerful happy, keep the watch off your back, and the whole system stays stable.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the result. The nobles, the rich visitors, they all think Camorr is, and I quote the sources here, a lovely, fine, safe place to live. Crime still happens, of course, but it's directed downwards, merchants, travelers, that sort of thing.
The acceptable targets,
Yeah.
the peace makes crime predictable.
Right. It channels it. Which brings us to Father Chains, the guy who kind of deliberately breaks that peace from the inside.
He was one of Barsavi's guys, wasn't he? A peasant, an agent.
Yeah, an insider. But also the leader, the founder, really, of the Gentlemen Bastards. He was officially the eyeless priest of the nameless 13th god, the Crooked Warden, the god of thieves.
Okay, so a priest and a high-level gangster. Interesting combo. How did he find Locke?
Well, Locke was basically sold to him. The thief maker couldn't handle him, called him the boy who stole too much. Even as a little kid, like 5 or 6, he was already breaking the peace, stealing from the watch, burning down taverns. Just pure chaos.
Yeah. So Locke was a natural rule breaker from the start. And Chains, this agent of Barsavi's liger, decides to take him under his wing.
Yeah, but not just to control him. Chains saw something else. He realized Locke was too ambitious, too clever to just be shut down. So he decided to train him and the others differently. His whole idea was to create a totally new kind of thief.
Giving them advantages he never had, the sources say.
Exactly. Their education was thorough and vigorous, not just lockpicking and pickpocketing, but high-level stuff. Languages so they could fake accents perfectly. Disguise, acting, and specialized fighting, especially for Gene Tannen he trained at the House of Glass Roses.
So they're not just thieves, they're confidence artists, high-level performers.
Performers running schemes against the exact people Barsavi protected, the nobility. And this leads to their big problem, right? The wealth paradox.
Ah, yeah. They're pulling off these huge cons, making incredible amounts of money.
Their ledger, hidden away, shows something like over 43,000 crowns. I mean, that's an insane amount for any thieves in Camorr. They're probably the richest gang by far.
But they can't spend it.
Not a single coin, really. Because how would they explain it? They pay Barsavi this tiny tithe, maybe a crown a week, just enough to look like small-time operators.
Right. If suddenly they're living large, buying fancy things, Barsavi immediately knows they're breaking the peace, robbing the nobles.
Exactly. Their success, their massive pile of cash, is the very thing that could get them killed. It's proof they're undermining the whole system. They're literally too rich to be safe.
So let's just quickly run through the team again. Locke, the Thorn, he's the mastermind, the actor.
Cannon, his right-hand man. The muscle, but also really smart, loyal.
Then the twins, Kalo and Galdo Sansa. The sources mention them being good with coin tricks and general mischief.
Yeah, they handle a lot of the practical stuff, the distractions. And then there's Bug, the apprentice, young, eager, wants to prove himself.
Okay. And their current big job, the one that really pushes things over the edge, is the Don Salva Archon.
Right. This is running while everything else is starting to heat up in the underworld. Locke's main alias here is Lucas Fairwright, supposedly a merchant from Emberlin.
And he approaches this nobleman, Don Lorenzo Salvara, with a business proposition.
Yeah, a partnership. The story is that Fairwright needs help smuggling a huge valuable shipment of Austrashallen brandy out of Emberlin before some fictional civil war leads to it being seized.
Okay, sounds plausible enough for a high-stakes deal.
And Salvara buys it. He agrees to fund the whole thing, paying for transport, bribes, tariffs, everything. Huge sums of money.
But the casks, they don't actually contain brandy, do they?
Nope. They contain the gentleman bastard's own loot from previous jobs. Salvara is literally paying them fortunes to transport their unspendable treasure for them.
Huh, that's brilliant. And Salvara thinks he's going to get what? Half the profits when this non-existent brandy is sold?
Exactly. Profits that will, of course, never materialize. The whole con is just a way for them to make even more money they can't spend. It's almost perfectly circular fraud.
Incredible. But the sources mention Doña Sofia Salvara, the Don's wife. She's not fooled, is she?
Not at all. She's sharp. An alchemical botanist, apparently very intelligent. The text highlights how she's immediately suspicious of Master Fairwright. She's calculating the odds, the potential profit. She sees the risks. Locke isn't just conning a gullible noble. He's dealing with someone dangerous.
Okay, so Locke's juggling this incredibly complex con, but meanwhile, the whole criminal underworld of Camorr is starting to fracture.
Because of the Grey King.
Yes, the Grey King is the external pressure that throws everything into chaos. He's not like Marsavi. He's not interested in stability or wealth, not really. He wants revenge, and he wants control through terror.
And he's targeting Barsavi directly.
Systematically. He starts assassinating Barsavi's key leaders, his guristas. The sources say 7 are killed in just 2 months. It's a direct challenge to Barsavi's authority, undermining the secret peace itself. He wants war.
And he operates outside the rules, using unconventional method, definitely. He has an accomplice called the Falconer, who's a bonds mage, a sorcerer. Magic isn't common, and using it this way is terrifying in this context.
A bonds mage, so like hired magic.
Yeah, magic is a commodity. And the Grey King knows about Locke. He knows Locke is the real thorn of Camorr, the master thief everyone whispers about, and he knows about the vault full of cash under the temple.
So he doesn't want Locke's money. He wants Locke.
He wants to use Locke. He uses the Falconer's magic to coerce Locke, basically forcing him to impersonate the Grey King himself at a meeting with Barsavi. He wants to use Locke's talent for deception to destroy Barsavi from within.
Wow. Okay, that's a serious escalation. How does he ensure Locke complies and ensure Barsavi is receptive?
Well, this is where it gets truly brutal. The Grey King sends Barsavi a message. He has Barsavi's only daughter, Nazca, murdered, and her body is sent back. Well, the sources say it was in a vat of horse piss.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And the Grey King calls this a friendly gesture to facilitate Barsavi's understanding of his power.
That's pure psychological warfare. It completely shatters Barsavi, right? Turns him from a calculating kappa into someone just consumed by vengeance.
Absolutely. Barsavi loses all strategic thought. He just wants the Grey King dead. And Locke is now trapped, forced to play the part of the monster who did this unspeakable thing.
So the Salvarakon is almost secondary now. Locke's caught in this much bigger, deadlier game.
Completely. And it all comes to a head with the Grey King's ultimate plan. He's adopted a new title by now, Kaparaza Raza, meaning vengeance. His plan is called the Day of Changes.
And the goal?
Total annihilation of the Camorr nobility. Wipe them all out in one night.
Ow!
He plans to lure them all to a huge feast at the Duke's Palace, Raven's Reach, and then gas them, using a deadly toxin called Wraithstone hidden inside these incredibly elaborate edible sculptures of the city.
Poison sculptures? That's Baroque, even for Camorr.
It's theatrical terror. If the nobility's gone, Barsavi's whole power base, the secret peace itself, means nothing. Raza creates a vacuum he can step into.
So Locke realizes he can't just run his con anymore. He has to act.
Right. He can't con his way out of this. He goes to the Duke's feast, still playing Lucas Fairwright, but his goal now is to find the real authorities, the hidden ones.
Bunny Vortanza, the spider. The Duke's secret police chief, essentially.
Exactly. He manages to get to her and Captain Reynard of the night class company, the Duke's elite guards. And this is the peak moment of risk for Locke. The ultimate liar decides to tell the truth.
He confesses everything, who he really is, the Grey King's plot.
Everything. But it's not civic duty, is it? He makes a deal.
What's the bargain?
His freedom. And the chance to kill Kaparaza himself. And the price he pays is everything, his entire fortune.
All that meticulously accumulated unspendable wealth, the 43,000 crowns.
All of it. Plus, whatever Barsavi had stashed there too, it was all mingled together.
Hmm.
He trades the location of the vaults for his life and a shot at revenge. It's the only way to solve his wealth paradox, give it all away. And it proves to the spider he's not motivated by greed anymore.
Just survival.
Yeah.
And maybe vengeance for everything.
And in doing so, he actually saves the city, not just from the Wraithstone gas.
Right, there was a backup plan, wasn't there? Something even worse.
Oh, yeah. Utterly horrific. A ship called the Satisfaction, waiting in the harbor, loaded with animals infected with a plague, the Black Whisper, ready to be unleashed if the feast plot failed.
A plague ship. Okay, Raza wasn't messing around.
Total devastation was the goal. But Locke warns them just in time. The city authorities managed to destroy the ship with catapults firing fire oil, a potential pandemic averted, thanks to Locke's confession.
But the cost for the gentleman bastard starts mounting immediately, right? The night descends into chaos.
Complete chaos. Jean, driven by pure loyalty to Locke, hunts down the falconer, the bondsmaid.
The one with the tattoos. 3 black circles.
That's him. Jean manages to capture him and, well, the sources say he tortures him for information by removing his fingers. Brutal, but effective in disabling the magic user.
And while Jean's doing that, tragedy strikes the team itself.
Yeah. Bug, the young apprentice. He gets killed by one of Raz's men during all the fighting, but the sources frame it as him sacrificing himself, proving he was a real gentleman bastard. It's heartbreaking, but it gives his death meaning within their code.
That must just fuel Locke even more.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, the final power shift happens. Raza confronts Barsavi at the Floating Grave, their criminal headquarters. He kills Barsavi, declares himself Caporazza, and forces the remaining Guaristas to kneel. The old order is dead.
And then it's just Locke versus Raza.
The final showdown. Locke is already badly injured. He'd been beaten by Barsavi earlier, tangled with the falconer. But he confronts Raza and somehow manages to kill him. Gets his revenge for Bug, finishes what Barsavi couldn't.
Does Jean get there in time to help?
He arrives just as Locke finishes the fight. Finds him victorious, but barely standing.
So what's the aftermath? Raza's dead, Barsavi's dead.
The city is saved, but the underworld is in turmoil. The surviving bondsmage, the falconer, is captured alive. And in a classic Camorr move, they just ship him back to his homeland, Carthage, with a note.
Huh. Just return to sender. Love it. And Locke's deal.
Doña Vorchenza, the spider, honors it. But she's got a new partner, or maybe successor, Doña Sofia Salvara.
The woman Locke was conning.
The very same. And Sofia makes it crystal clear to Locke, you're free to go. But if you ever pull another con, ever commit another crime in Camorr, we will hunt you down and execute you. No second chances.
So he's free, but exiled from his hunting ground.
Essentially, yes. The surviving gentleman bastards Locke, Jean, Kalo, and Galdo, they grab what little they can carry and flee the city on a ship. They basically won the war against Raza.
But lost everything else. Their home, their apprentice.
And their entire fortune. Every crown they stole, conned, and couldn't spend is gone, traded away.
So just to wrap this up, we've seen this small, hyper-specialized gang take on the entire criminal structure, tangle with sorcery, accidentally save the nobility from annihilation, survive torture and assassination attempts.
And they came out alive, remarkably. But utterly changed. Locke, the master confidence man, took down the Grey King, saved the city, but ended up with nothing tangible, no money, no base of operations, lost a member of his found family.
Which brings us back to that core irony, doesn't it? He spent his life accumulating this massive fortune he couldn't use, defined by his ability to acquire wealth.
And in the end, he traded all of that wealth, his life's work, for a single act of bloody vengeance and his own survival. So it leaves you with a really interesting question to think about. When your whole game is about getting rich but never spending it, and you throw it all away for revenge, which metric really matters? The money you had or the vengeance you got? Which one defines the winner here?